Long time no see.
Yeah, I know, man. Southern Poly days.
Catch me back up. What's been going on?
Um, just working, man. Just trying to get this business off the ground.
Got
Uh,
you.
doing work as I'm a software engineer by day, and
Okay.
just trying to get this business off the ground by night.
Got you. How
Yeah,
long you
man.
been doing the software engineering?
I've been at it about 6 years, man. We just got
Nice.
rebranded to. We just got retitled to software engineer. It was programmer analyst.
Got you.
So yeah, I've been doing about 6 years now, man.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, some days.
It pays the bills.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Um, yeah, yeah, like I said, trying to do this thing by night is more of my passion. So, I just, like you said, just doing what I got to do to pay the bills for now.
Got you. Tell me, like, how'd you get started with your business? Like, what made you go in that direction to like want to start your own thing?
Okay. Yeah. Really, a friend of mine really had put me onto it. Kind of. He was telling me, like, he had this lady he wanted to help. So I was like, yeah, we can help her out, help promote her and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I had already got a little interest in, the t-shirt making company industry and, custom apparel industry. So I was
Okay.
like, yeah, we can definitely do that. And, we can help her along the way.
Mhm.
And so we started off doing that. That lasted about maybe 4 months. And, we just went our separate ways,
Okay.
so we just leave it at that. And so I just kept going with the t-shirt thing, man. I was like, man, I like the business. I was learning a lot about it. And
Yeah.
like, I just keep going with it, man. So and just see where it takes me.
Got you. So you started with the t-shirts. Was that something you picked up like in school or like what?
No, not even. I had just picked it up. Like a guy my church does them,
Mhm.
and I saw him. But other than that, I had not even heard of. Really thought about the industry. But so I just got into it. Started watching videos. Start YouTubing it. Like we do nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody on everything you need to know on YouTube. So I just
Yeah.
started YouTubing it, and I just went for it, man. And it's been
Nice.
pretty. I mean, it's been pretty. I've been pretty successful so far. Not where I
That's
want to
good.
be,
Mhm.
but it's still. I realize it's a slow process.
Got
So
you.
yeah.
And how long have you been at it with the business side
Um,
since you did the project with your friend for 4 months?
yeah. We've been at it about 2 full years.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is the third year actually. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's all of 2017, all of 18, and then all of this year. So it's about 3 years now.
Nice.
Learning a lot, messing up a lot of shirts, stressing out about trying to get orders done in time. But
Right.
overall, it's been great. It's been fun.
Man, I commend
And
you for that.
yeah, man, I appreciate it, man.
I'm
Most
just
important thing, keep the customers, happy. So as long as
mm,
they stay happy, we stay in business. So
nice. I'm
yeah.
just getting started today myself. I posted a podcast kind of like we're doing right now,
All right.
and I posted the first one today, and it felt like hell trying to just get it. Like at
Yeah.
first, I recorded back in August, like mid-August, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh man, I got one recorded," but then I didn't do anything with it. I was just like, "Man, I got to do that again," because I don't like getting on camera or like having to talk, but
Right.
like just having worked in construction and being forced to like get out of your comfort zone. It's like you've got to be
Yeah.
able to direct people and you've got to be able to convey your opinions to say like, hey, this is what needs to be done, or hey, there's going to
Right.
be an issue over here, so we don't address it, then it's
Yeah.
going to be a bigger problem down the line.
Down the
So
road. Yeah.
I definitely salute you for that. 3 years in, it's like you're putting in the work, but you're loving it all the while, even if it's
Yeah,
like
I have to, man.
there's like days like yesterday I was just trying to get I got the domain name to work out, like I was able
Hmm.
to purchase it. So then I was like, do I set up the website to be able to post the recording on there, or do I go this other route where I've got to like get the audio hosted there and then they put it
Right.
out on podcast? And I was like, just trying to do it last minute. It's like, okay, well, for next week,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead and
no.
plan it out in
Yeah.
advance. And I finally figured out, like, hey, YouTube University's always got your back. You're like, hey, do you want to launch this right now? Okay, go ahead and premiere it, do this, do that. So just
Yeah.
before our recording, I put it up because I said I was going to do it at either 5 p.m. or like 6:30. So I got my times all messed up. Like, I was
Okay.
ready to call you this morning at 7. I was like, you ready? You're
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was like.
it's
I
like
like dropping
7 p.m., right?
Yes. Yeah, man. But it's all good. No, I think the most, like the biggest lesson or the biggest thing that I've taken away from these 3 years has been like organization. And that's what I'm constantly trying to stay organized, because I really believe the more organized you are, the more productive you're going to be. Like, if you know everything is, you know, like in my case, I know exactly how many t-shirts I got, you know, in inventory. Then I can tell the customer, you know, hey, I got a last minute order. Can you do this, this, and that? If then I don't have to worry about, oh man, do I got those shirts at home, or do I got to order some more? Do I got to, you know, like all that type of stuff going on in your head. Like when you're organized, you're like, yeah, I can do that order. You know, it'll be this, 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 and that. So that's been the biggest thing that I've learned, especially like to stay organized, and you got to stay on top of stuff.
Yeah.
So
man, I've been watching your work, and remind me the full name of your company. What is it?
Yeah, my company is Faith Not Limited Company.
Okay. How'd you come up with that name?
Well, I was just trying to do I had because it's an LLC. And so with LLC, you can do, instead of doing the comma LLC dot, you can do like not limited company, or no, you can put limited company in there. So I was going to do Faith Unlimited Company.
Yeah.
But then like when you do it abbreviation, it was going to be FUC. So I was like, I don't know.
It's too many things.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't even want to, people associating getting to that. So I was like, Faith Not Limited. And then it also brings that, like, so what's the name? Like it gets the conversation started a lot of times. So
that's a great name.
Like, how did you come to that stuff? But basically, it's just saying like, faith. Don't limit your faith. Basically, just let it go and just aim for the bushes.
Gotcha.
Which is, I just referenced that from the other guys. Have you seen that movie? I don't know if you've seen
the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys where they're like, aim for the bushes.
Is that for? Oh yeah, is it with The Rock and Sam Jackson at the start?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's a great reference. Oh man, because
it'll work out.
That's a nice way to flip it too, because usually people say just like aim for the skies, and it's like that's so like so cliche, but you say aim for the bushes, and then you have something to tie it into. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, and like you said, not only like the name, it's clear about what your intention is, and it's like it's a conversation starter.
Yeah,
and it's like it's within the name. It's Faith Not Limited. Don't limit your faith. Like you can flip flop it, but it's like, hey, like it's very clear what it's about.
Yeah, keep going, because basically, just trying to motivate people. And I do the t-shirts, but I also do. I got a couple YouTube videos up, just trying to like motivate people, man. Like yeah. So I'm just trying to motivate people, inspire people. That's my main thing, man.
Been
that way a long time.
Got you. It's always been your thing to motivate people?
Yeah, man. And I didn't realize it, like until you get older and you're like, you start wondering what you want to do in life, and you're like, I just want to help people, man. And so like even in high school, I remember like in the 12th grade, we had like all the seniors had to leave like 3 words for people. And like people coming up, laugh, live, live, love, laugh, and all that stuff. But I was just like, live to inspire. That's what, like, and so that's been my thing since then and on. Like, just live to inspire Hold on, man. I'm sorry. My daughter's calling me.
No, you're fine. Take your
Okay.
time. Yeah,
All
you're
right.
good.
I'm sorry. I'll be right
I'm
back.
here.
I'm sorry.
I'm here for you.
All right. I'm bad. She she's done eating stuff. Man, kids, man. But yeah,
How old?
3.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I know. Like,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah,
I feel like I'm slacking over here. I need to get
no,
on the ball.
no, man. No, I think this, like, shoot, 29, 30, I think this would be the perfect age to start having kids, man. I feel like
Yeah.
I was 26, but I don't see how, like, teenagers and stuff. I'm just like, oh my
Oh,
goodness,
yeah.
man, what are y'all thinking, man? It's difficult, man. Just because you basically put your life on hold, to raise them. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's all good.
That's good, man. But I mean, it's like, if anything, it's like it's given me a newfound respect for people that have been able to go through that. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you're talking from like a Christian perspective, where like the background where it's like it's already frowned on society wise because
Yeah.
you're not able, you're barely taking care of yourself, and then you're
Right.
going to be taking care of somebody else. But then
Yeah.
for the people that are able to do that, like with the help of their parents, or like if they've got to do it on their own, they like grow up really quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then
Yeah.
when you see them, like they actually play with their kids. They're not like too worn out or something. And it's like, just over the years, I've kind of learned to really appreciate people for who they are and where they are, and not being so like closed-minded or judgmental.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
definitely.
I mean, if what is? Yeah. Again, I just say we each have our own life to live. So I guess I can't get too caught up in envy you, but
yeah.
I say good job, good on you. It's I was talking with one of my coworkers the other day, and it's like, as a dad, you're never gonna get the hey, thanks, thanks for keeping the lights on, or thanks for taking me where I need to be. So it's like whenever I have a chance to tell a dad that, or somebody, it's like even my own, I've got to be thankful to be like, hey, like you and mom are there, and even if I don't agree with certain things, like I've still got to be grateful because you do what a lot of people aren't able to do.
Yeah, that's so true, man. And I appreciate it, man. It's it's just life, man. I just just seeing her grow. Like you said, you don't get a lot of thanks, but a lot of times just seeing her grow, see her learn new things, it just be like, man, I'm glad I'm here to witness it.
Right.
But yeah, man. Cause I know, like me, I wasn't raised with my dad. Mainly my mom raised me. So like, and that's why I can, like what you were saying, like in terms of everybody living their own life.
Right.
My mom, man, she was there for me and my sister. Like whenever we needed her, she was there. And so whenever I get a chance, like you're saying thank you, I'm always like, thank you, mom. You're a great mom. Like you were there for me when, and not that I got any ill feelings or anything towards my dad, love him dearly, but it was just like, so, but my mom like, hey,
I think it's almost by default. I think most of the time it's like moms just get the love, because I mean it's like, hey, she had to carry you around for about 9 months, so it's like, sorry, Dad, but
I love you, but hey,
but so what is it? So you've been doing the business end, and you were telling me about like how you went ahead and you set up the LLC, and like what's like your end goal with that? Are you wanting to make it like be as significant as your work, like your current day job?
Okay, yeah. That man, I go back and forth with it because my day job, like you said, do I enjoy it? It wasn't something that, it was kind of like I needed a job. They were like, hey, you want to be a programmer? Because I have I got a business background, so I don't have any background in computing.
That's right.
Yeah, so they were like, you want to be a programmer? I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like a year after college. So I'm like, man, I need a check. So yeah,
Right.
so definitely. So I learned that, and but even in learning that, I just see a lot of increase in terms of not just financial, but just skill wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the Lord's blessed me to be in a place where I can really hone my skills and then like become more known within the company type thing. So I'm seeing that and I'm like, man, that could be pretty important. You know, like that can be a great way to bring resources to my family.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, with the business, it's growing each year, like more and more customers are coming, like more and more success. So I'm like, man, dude, I want to be honest,
yeah,
I would love to do both.
oh,
Maybe
yeah,
like t-shirts. I know I'm not gonna, the level of success I want my t-shirts to get to, or Faith Not Limited company to get to, it may have to be like, I don't know, maybe weekends, take a week off at work, just strategically do my vacation times where I can do, a large, 50,000 t-shirts in a year, and
right.
and still be able to do the software engineering. But if it came down to, it, then yeah, I would let software engineering go and just do the t-shirt / motivation thing full time, because that truly is my passion. So
Gotcha. Have you ever?
like you said, what's my end goal? Oh, I was just saying, so you saying like, what's my end goal? So that would be my end goal, to be able to do them both at an extremely high level.
Gotcha.
So,
nice.
Until I'm 40 anyway. Like at 40, I want to. At 40, so I only got about a good 10 years left of software engineering. At 40, I want to retire and become a high school teacher. It's always been my dream. Yeah, it's weird.
Why's that? No, tell me about that.
I don't know. It's always been my dream. Like at 40, I feel like at 40, around that. After about 40-ish, you can you just live the whole life, man. You gotta imagine you graduated college at 22. You've lived 20 years of working in an industry. I just feel like in some area I could be able to give back to kids. So that's my thing. Like 20 years of working, gaining a lot of knowledge, understanding relationships with people here and there, and then then at 40, 41, 42, going back, getting my degree in education, teaching kids.
It's a great plan, man.
So yeah, that's just.
I respect that.
Recently, I've added another goal of at age 60-ish, I want to be a mailman. I want to be a mailman.
I like where you're going.
For no reason, man.
It's for the same reason. I think it's for the same reason that you pointed out. It's still giving back, and you're just kind of giving back because you're going from like, you went to school and you wanted to start giving back to like the underclassmen.
Yeah.
And then once you go through college, I'm sure you did some kind of giving back then. Yeah. And then as you're working, you start building your own family. It's like you still have this need to kind of like reach out and help this lady that has a project. And then that like giving mentality is still there for you. And then you're like, okay, why not take care of my family for this time? By that point, your daughter's already grown. And then you go back to the school, and then you're bringing up the next generation. And then, hey, you move into your community. Like, it's not like you went, okay, I'm going to take over the world and just be like, bam, 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 bam. But like I think you're thinking of it in the sense of like, would you say like social currency, or like in, what's the word? Like emotional intelligence, to where you're in tune with what's important to you and what you value, which may not be like shown to a lot of people, because like with social media, for instance, you see like a highlight reel or this, and I mean it's supposed to be for fun, so everybody's kind of doing with it what they want, and everybody values different things. And that's why I was just like, I wanted to talk to you so much, because I was like, hey, I want to catch up with you, see what you're up to. No, you're good. Sorry, you're good. Hey man, don't even apologize. That's the best investment you're making right there.
Yeah, man. She said, I just want you to sit with me. I'm like, hold on, I'm It's all good, man.
Man, that's crazy. What's funny is I might send you a number later because are you still in Atlanta or where are you located now?
No, I'm in LaGrange, so I'm about maybe an hour 15 from Atlanta.
Okay, I mean that's not too far. Right now
Yeah.
I'm about the same distance, like up in North Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
But I think there's this prayer line that I'm on, and there are a lot of guys on there that they're just a great group of guys. And I think if you just like were able to connect with them, they would
Mm-hmm.
probably help you like just go to the next level. Because with
Yeah.
Faith Unlimited, are you doing that by yourself, or do you have like
Yeah,
anyone that helps you out?
I have I have a friend of mine who helps whenever I need him. But yeah, it's mainly just me,
Okay,
just trying to grow the business. But man, that
gotcha.
sounds awesome, man.
Yeah,
It's like a group prayer, or is it just like y'all get on the phone and discuss stuff?
it's it's good. Like they call
Okay.
it the maybe I'll leave it off of here, but I don't want too many people getting the
Okay.
deets to be like, hey, I need to get
I
on
got
there.
you.
But
I got you.
well, I'll say this. I think it's maybe I won't get doxxed or anything. Nobody would come looking for me if I put out the information. But we call it the spiritual barbershop because it's like
Okay.
guys will be
Gotcha.
on there kind of having conversations like you would be in a barbershop, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like they might be talking about what happened in the news or a game, but like
All right.
just taking real life and then like having devotionals, and people will hop on either on their way to work, like after work. It just depends on like who's where, and you're talking
Okay,
about
man.
guys
Yeah,
like
that's awesome, man.
all over the country, and a lot of people are in the Atlanta area.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great, man. Send me that information. I'll
Yeah,
definitely hop on there.
I'll do that before I forget.
All right.
But the what is it?
But yeah. Uh,
Well, you were telling me your plan about by 60, you just added it
yeah.
to your goals to become a mailman.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got a great point, man. I didn't even think about that. Just about just want to give back. And it's still that's my thing, man. Just giving back, trying to just give to whoever needs it. I just want to, put it out there so they can get it.
Yeah, because I remember talking with one of the guys I worked with up in the Chicago area, and he was from Australia. I believe his name was Chris, and he was telling me that whenever he got older, he wanted to be like a bellboy or one of the like the greeters at a hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just be there to like kind of just greet people as they come in, because it's like you don't know like the amount of people that you see coming through a hotel, even if you're
Really?
like in a lowly position, like
Yeah.
quote unquote lowly,
Yeah.
like that's still it's still so valuable because like that person is able to impact somebody's life. And I think that's the way that he explained it to me, where you're able to like change somebody's day just in an instant like that
Oh,
by
definitely. Yeah.
just like greeting them with a smile. All of a sudden they could just have whatever's going on through their mind, like they forget about that and they're like, oh, somebody's smiling at me, and like the
Yeah.
natural response is like you smile
Not
back, and
bad.
like
Yeah.
they say hello,
Change the
you
whole.
say hello
Yeah.
back, and it's like, oh, that's like that's a great thing. And not to go on a tangent, but I think the last time I was in New York, it may have been the last time, may have been the first time, I forget, but
All right.
um I went up there, and on my way back, I was taking an Uber because I wanted to go up to the Empire State Building for the first time to get like a good view of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think either on my way there or on my way back to the airport, I I got in an Uber with an Uber pool, and in the car with me were two janitors, and they like they started out as janitors and then they ended up owning like their company and
Wow. Yeah.
hiring multiple janitors to where they had contracts within
Wow.
the state of New York, to where they I think they lived in Long Island. Is that like East New
Yeah.
York maybe? And then they came into Manhattan for like just like a day trip or something during the week, because they're like, okay, it's less busy during the week than on the weekend when everybody's trying to flock to the city. And they're like the kindest people ever. And somehow or another, we're either talking about the state of where people's minds are, because like with media, people may think, oh, the world's going to crap, but it's like, no, it's really not. You just have a few loud people, and then like every single day you see people like yourself like doing your thing. And like I run into them just in a casual ride. I don't see anybody like trying to aggress me or anything like that, or at least trying to put out good energy and just be like in a serving mentality. It puts me at ease to where I don't necessarily receive any of that. Or it's like, okay, like that might be somebody else's experience, but that's not my experience. So I can say like, that may have happened with you, but hey, like come join the prayer line and you'll see something different.
Yeah. That's the thing nowadays, man. Everybody wants good vibes, good vibes only, and positive, get rid of all that negative stuff. So yeah, man, I agree. And then like you're saying, like even with that prayer thing, that's why it's just good to surround yourself with positive people.
Right.
So.
Just sent it to you.
Okay.
It's the home number is what you want to use. And usually like Monday to Friday we'll start about like 6:30. Like it'll open up, people jump on, and it can be open up till like noon or midday.
So all right, cool.
Jump on there, check it out. Listen in or introduce yourself, whatever you feel like doing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. And you said it's like in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. I hit that on my way to work. Yeah, that'll be great.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Most everybody will be doing like their morning commute, and a couple of the guys, they speak, so they're able to kind of like jump on and jump off. And I guess I'll just let the rest be a surprise for you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. No, I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'll definitely get on there, check it out.
Yeah,
man.
It's good to see you. It's funny. 2 weeks ago, I ran into Zazu.
Yeah.
Like I was going to the gathering spot, and I was going there to kind of like use the facility since I got access to it. But I saw that they were having service, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll just go to service real quick.
Yeah.
And like they give you like a new member bag or whatnot, and I go over and like kind of sit in the section, and he happened to be one of the youth leaders there, and I think he finished up with the youth, and he was just walking around. He's like, oh, just telling them that you should, if you see somebody new, you should go and like introduce yourself, like make them feel welcome. And then he looks over, he's like, oh, it's you. And I was like, it's you too. And it's like we hadn't seen each other in over, what is it? Geez, almost 10 years.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's like you look exactly the same. It's like, well, I got a little bit off the top, but
yeah, I know. I still keep in contact with Nick. I don't know if you remember Nick.
Yeah.
So I think he said he ran into him maybe like a month or two ago or something like that. So I was like, okay, man, cool. So yeah, I'm not in Atlanta enough, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But, oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So as I'm figuring out this podcast thing, I had like a general idea of what I wanted to talk about, but it's mostly of people that are like in your position and in mine, where it's that you go to school to get a job, you get the job, and then it may or may not be what you expected. So I was going to say, for your job and for your business that you're currently running, like what was some of the things that got you excited about it, or what's some of the hype where you were just like, oh man, like this is gonna be this, like bright lights, I'm gonna be on Hollywood walking down like Broadway and this and that. Like, what are some of those things that really like got your attention? But then once you got in, it was like, this thing's not like the other.
Okay, yeah, like well, I think every student has that idea of like, man, my first job's gonna be like, I'm gonna make tons of money, and I'm gonna be vacationing in Hawaii and stuff. And then you get your first paycheck, you're like, who's Uncle Sam? Like, why he taking that from me? like, man, I was like, they told us how much we'd be making per year, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, that's a great, just fresh out of college, that's a great start spot. Man, when I saw those taxes being taken out, I was like, my goodness, like I don't even. So I think that was one of the biggest shockers to me. Like, like you're not really making what they say you're making when you first start out. So
right.
So that was one thing that was just like, man, I thought I was gonna be making like crazy amounts of money, even with what they told me I'd be making. But
right.
Yeah, the government had something different to say about that. But I know all of it, most of it goes to good use. You got roads and stuff. So I'm not complaining about it, but it just was a shocker to me when I got that first check. It's like almost $500 missing. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? But
right. Well, to stay on that point, have you been able to pivot any from like getting your tax burden reduced, having a business now?
Yeah, I tend to like because like I'm normally investing back into the business and stuff like that. So a lot of times I don't have like crazy profits per year. And so with that, they cut you a little lenience and stuff like that. So I hadn't had to pay back anything when it comes to, tax time and stuff like that. So I've been grateful for that. But
gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, maybe some of the things that I think that's the main thing. I thought I'd be making more. Thought I'd be I'm very like I'm super optimistic, but I don't so optimism doesn't always work out. So I'm thinking like, man, I kind of made like bad financial decisions like while I was in college. So it's like but because imagine, of course you're thinking like, man, I'm gonna get this job, it's gonna pay back, like
right.
It's gonna pay me enough where I ain't gotta worry about student loans. So I'm just like, oh my God. So student loan debt is one thing that is real. Like, wait for them to get rid of that. But nah, so that's one thing that I definitely. But that's like a reality check for any students or anything that
Right.
When you can like avoid them at all costs. And I know I listened to Dave Ramsey. Do you know him?
Yeah.
So I listen to him, and I'm just like, where were you when I was going like where were you? Like so, but
right.
But
are you familiar with Robert Kiyosaki?
Sounds familiar.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah.
What's funny about him is that my freshman year, a friend of mine that I followed down from where I went to high school, he went to Southern Poly first, and then I went there the year after. And I think that was one of the first books that he handed me. He was like, hey, you need to read this. And I was like, oh, I'm so busy with schoolwork. I'll read it later. Fast forward, I don't read it until graduating, and within like the first month of my first job, like I finally read it on Audible, which made reading a lot easier for me. And I was just like,
I love Audible.
I was just like, dude, I'm so dumb. Like, why did I wait 5 years to read this book?
Yeah.
And it's like just that information. But then when you get it, it's like, okay, now I got it. Like now I need to do something different. Like the past is done. Forget about that. But back to you.
No, I completely agree. And even like I was saying with Dave Ramsey, but even with like the whole t-shirt business in general, for me, I'm just like, dude, why didn't I get it? I could have got into this while we were in school, man. Like, come back on the weekends at home, make T-shirts, bring them back. Because, everybody in college wearing T-shirts.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
gosh, I wish I had discovered this earlier. I would have had. Because, in Atlanta, man, it's so many people up there. So you
Oh,
would have had
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
more, connects and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, the past is the past. And that's one of those things where that's just something that I have to work on in my mind, because I start thinking so much about stuff. I'm just like, man, if I had done this, it's just like, let it go, Alex, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so I completely agree with that. Like,
Gotcha.
but yeah, speaking of Audible, man, you still use it today,
Oh,
or?
yeah, 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 definitely.
That's my
I've
go-to now.
I've been listening to, I think, 2 or 3 books recently. One we're studying in a group called The Power of Habit.
Yeah. I
You heard
actually
of it?
got that.
You got
I
it?
got that. I got the hard copy of that book. I
Mm.
read the first third of it, because I think it's in 3 parts or whatever. So I read the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
part, hand picked it back up,
Gotcha.
because I just start listening. I listen to books all the time now. So,
Right, right.
so,
I
but
think,
I don't know. I think currently I'm reading this book called like 92 habits, or 92 what's it called? Like 92 expressions. I gotta look it up. I'll let you know what it is, but
okay.
I don't forgot.
It sounds familiar. It's weird
Yeah.
because I got like on a book binge initially because like coming out of college, I started listening to Eric Thomas, the
Yeah.
motivational speaker. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he's really a pastor, but he just happened to find motivation as well. And then just seeing him kind of pivot over the years and really just like continue to grow and grow. It's really like, it's motivating by default.
Yeah.
But like one thing that really, it was like a shock to the system before I got to Rich Dad Poor Dad was a book called Who Moved My Cheese.
Mm-hmm. I
And
never read that one.
so that one, it's like the shortest book. I was so
Mm-hmm.
excited about it because like it maybe reads in like 30 minutes to an hour, because
Okay.
it starts out with the introduction where there's a high school reunion class coming together, and then one of the guys introduces the story and then they discuss it afterwards. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like a nice little short story
Okay.
it's almost like a children's story, but the way that I think it's Spencer Johnson that wrote it. The way that he wrote his stories is that he lived it for about like 15 years and then he finally put it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he did 2 or 3 other books like that. But this one, it was so like short and succinct to where everything that was there was like very intentional. And just the way that like the whole theme of it just went around that like everything, like you have some things in life but they're not always going to be there, and just having that kind of like outline it was like, huh, you're right. And then thinking back on it now, it's like, okay, I can see where I kind of put my focus, or it was just like, okay, I got out of school, got this taken care of, got that taken care of, I'm good. But then it's like all of a sudden things change up and it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to stay here. Like I'm supposed to move with the change. I can't be bitter about changes coming about.
Yeah. No, I literally was thinking about, and I know you were just talking about you as a person, but I was thinking about, I was literally thinking about that the other day. It was just talking about people in your life. Because I had heard this quote one time where it's like, I think Tracy Morgan said it or something, but he was like, you're a tree and you're growing upward. So you won't always be where your roots are. Like you have to leave your root, so I was just thinking about that the other day. Like a lot of times we'll just like, almost like kicking and screaming to I want to stay with this person. I want to hang out with this person. I want to, and then you don't realize, like, especially when you're in high school, you had those best friend bonds, and then now it's like, man, I don't even talk to half the people I went to high school with. I don't even have their number, personal number. We're Facebook friends, but that's everybody's Facebook friend. when you have their personal number to just say like, hey, you know, give me a call, how you been, da da da. So it's just amazing to me, like you're saying, like you in times as a person, like, oh man, I need to change, so you go ahead and change. But it's also something with people, they come and go, and so you just have to know which ones are like, no, you can't, you know, like this one, I'm gonna make sure this one stays in my life, you know, stay in my life. Like my wife, for instance, I wasn't gonna let her go. Like, you're gonna be but you know, like other people, just, you know, they come, they go, and it's just, that's life, you know.
And the thing that's funny with that is that the harder you try to hold on to something, like the sooner it'll get taken away from you. But like,
that's true. Yeah.
And I guess I kind of had that experience where I was just like, oh man, like this is the best thing, or this is like the best person I've ever met, and like I want to hang on to them. But then like when I finally kind of decided in my head, like, hey, like, okay, I need to separate myself from this person or like go my own way. It's like from creating a little bit of distance, like having established some sort of value in the relationship, like the people that are meant to be in your life, they kind of come back around again. And it's like, oh, okay, like you kind of get an unexpected gift. And back to what you were saying earlier about motivation, one thing that I did getting to work was join Toastmasters. And like I did it initially just because I wanted to become a better speaker, and I was like, I don't want to be the typical engineer who can't express themselves, that like is socially awkward and things like that. I want to break out of that. And just going to Toastmasters, I was like automatically motivated to go there because
I'm sorry. Hold on, bro. Let me check on my
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. She wanted a popsicle. Yeah.
At least she asked, and you didn't come over there. She's like hanging from the fridge.
Yeah, I know.
From the top. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had to explain that out to my wife.
It's like I left you guys for a few hours, and then this happened.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my bad, man. I think you were talking about motivation.
Right. So all I was just saying is like I got into the Toastmasters and I did the icebreaker initially, and going into it I was so nervous, but like reading the manual, it was just like, hey, just relax. You're talking about yourself. You'll be critically judging yourself in your mind, but it's like block that out for a minute, and even after you give your speech, just go sit down, breathe, and then be ready to hear the feedback from the other members. And it's like all of a sudden, as soon as the other members start talking, like they start saying the nicest things, and you're like, who are these people? Like, did somebody pay you to like be so nice or to like clap as soon as I speak? Just because it's like I just like naturally, I guess I'm very self-critical, and I guess like people are very self-critical of themselves because like you expect so much. But the thing I didn't expect for my next speech was that I planned so much for the first one, and then I tried like semi-plan, didn't do as well for the second one, but all of a sudden I went down the motivation track, and I didn't want to do that at all because I was like, okay, like I looked up to ET and other people that speak, and they just have like that passion and that drive, and I just felt like a phony where I was just like, I don't have the right to come in here and tell people like, hey, you can do it. But it's like when I look back on it now, like I like started and stopped with like moving around for work, but also like it was just kind of that fear where it's that I would have a topic in my mind to speak about and like practicing it, trying to rehearse it, but like trying to be authentic about it, but like not believing in my authenticity, where it's like I don't know if I have the right to tell somebody that's like 20, 30 years older than me, like, hey, like here's something for you. I always had this perception that like you as the kid, you stay a kid and reach down to people that are younger than you. And then the people that are older than you, they know better. But it's
Right.
like, as you become an adult, you quickly notice like all adults aren't really adults. Like everybody doesn't have it all together. And even the people that do are willing to learn
and grow.
And those are the people that know. It's like, I think the best lyric that I ever heard was from an artist called Kanad. I think he's Somalian, but he's a Canadian resident. And he wrote this song that said, any man who knows a thing knows he doesn't know a damn thing at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's facts. Because as soon as you get a little bit of information, you're just like, oh, like, I might be an expert in this one thing, but I'm like a complete idiot in everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in that industry, I feel like experts really, like, deep down know you're still not an expert. Like, because they're still growing. Like, I got so many questions myself. So it's like they have so many more questions that we hadn't even thought of because we're not experts. But, you know, like, even when you say, like, man, I'm expert in this field, it's like you're not. You still got, like you said, you really don't know anything. So that's a great quote.
Yeah. But it's great to see the people that can just like admit that, and then they don't stop at just being like, hey, I'm not an expert. It's like, hey, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn more. Like I'm willing to, like, I want to know more. Like I'm just curious, and I just want to see what else is out there. And then it's just like this constant flow where like 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down, but like you just keep going with it. You don't put all the weight on yourself necessarily, but like you lean on other people, and then they're able to pick you up when you're down, or you're able to pick them up when you're down.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I said that.
When they're down. Yeah, when they're down. Yeah. But yeah, I got you, man. No, that's like you said, like we were saying, that's just life, man. Just finding that balance of give and take, basically. When is a good time for me to take from others? When is it a good time to pour into others? And I know I find that, like, because I'm a big Eric Thomas guy too.
Yeah.
I found him like in, I think 2012 when I started listening, like on and off again, listening to him. But recently I just been like, man, he's killing the game. Like he's killing it. I'm just like, God. But yeah, you see him with such passion and stuff, and it's just like, man, I don't have that type of go about it, you know. But the whole thing is everyone has their own voice, you know.
Right,
so
exactly.
I can't do it in ET's voice, or then like you said, I'm imitating him. Like
because
so
you gotta be Alex, do it in Alex's voice.
Exactly. So that's one thing. I know that's one thing that I had to. Well, before I even started the business, I was just going back and forth with this whole, what do I want to do in life? You know, like this. I had like a midlife crisis at like 25.
Yeah.
Like 24,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I was like, what do I want to do in life, man? What do I want to? So just going back and forth, and so that's when the opportunity came to make the shirts, and then I started doing that, and I was like, man, that's what I want to do, just motivate people, and then also make like cool gear for them to wear that'll motivate them as well. So just doing that type of stuff. But yeah, I know I went through that whole who am I type phase, and I feel like that's when you can really start to grow as a person, when you realize who you are as a person. So yeah, man,
that's a great point, man.
Yeah. So
that might be a good spot to wrap it up. I don't know if I want to add anything to that. It's just like that's basically the best way you can just be like, just wrap it up. We're done.
Yeah, man, that's great, man. I'm really grateful for you having me on your podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Grateful to have you. I definitely got to go and check out your website and pick up a shirt. What's the best way to do that?
Best way, I have a website, faithnlc.com. That's, it's up. I gotta be honest, I don't keep it up to date like I should, because I don't get much traffic there. Gotcha. So the best way is Instagram, faithnlc_. or at Faith NLC _, and then my Facebook page, Faith Not Limited Company. So with those two, you'll see some like, the latest works I've done, and and then on the Instagram page, I'm doing like motivation stuff, but I also have I do like stories and stuff, or maybe shirts I just finished up and stuff like that. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, man. Like I said, once again, I appreciate it.
Anytime. I'm still glad to have you in my life.
All right, you too, man. You have a good night, sir.
You too. Take care of that family.
Oh, definitely, man. We got to go ahead and check on it now. All right, bro.
Bye, Alex.
Bye.